That's my water from yesterday.
No, it's new.
Oh, it's new. Okay, good.
You want me to take that?
Oh, it's fine. It's fine. Hello, all. How are you? Good. Thank you all for being here tonight. I think we have some very important information for, particularly for children in our city, since tomorrow is the first day that all of the schools in the city of St. Louis will be closed. We do know that St. Louis Public Schools is on spring break this week, but we have with us here this evening, several people have been working very hard to figure out how we can make sure that our kids, our children, get the meals and the food that they need while school is out. So I'm going to introduce to you Dr. Will Pinckney, who is the Director of Children, Youth, and Families for the City of St. Louis, and he'll take it from there. Thank you all.
Good evening. Thank you for coming. When the mayor appointed me, she asked me to make sure that the children in the city of St. Louis were able to have all they need to be healthy, safe, and to ensure their positive development. So I met with and started meeting with the group of people behind you, as well as some of the other schools who are listed on this board over here, to start talking about school closings. And we started meeting on Saturday, and we wanted to think about the challenges that would be faced by closing the schools. And so we met Saturday, we met again Monday, and we started talking about food delivery and what that meant to children once the schools closed. The group behind me, as well as the other schools, had already started engaging in some of those conversations. And so we came up with a plan, thanks to their hard work and dedication. And the plan is what you see there. There will be 33 sites throughout the city. 3 sites will be stood up starting tomorrow, and the rest of them will be stood up starting on Monday. So I would just hand this over now to Dr. Brown from SLPS to explain a little bit more about that.
Thank you, Mr. Pinckney. Excuse me. St. Louis Public Schools, under the leadership of Dr. Adams, has been revising our pandemic plan for several weeks now. We began partnering with local and county school districts in the city to ensure that all children have access to meals while school is not in session. We chose sites that were within walking distance from children's homes. We partnered with the charter school districts and independent school districts within the city to make sure that every child, no matter whether you attend charter, independent, private, or public, or a county, will have access to meals during the break. So we really want to extend a thank you to the mayor's office, Mr. Pinckney, for putting us together and helping us coordinate this effort to make sure that all the school districts were in partnership together working on this plan. So thank you.
I just want to say, nutrition is important to that positive development of children. And so once again, I want to congratulate and thank the people individually. I'm going to call them up to speak, but we have Candace Oliver from Confluence Academies. We have LaShonda Boone from LaSalle Middle School. We have Kelly Garrett from KIPP St. Louis. And we have Patrice Coffin from Carondelet Leadership Academy. So I'll call up Candace now.
Yes. Good evening. We'd like to thank the mayor and others, the St. Louis Public Schools, and the rest of the St. Louis City and County as communities in coming together. It's important for us to work together in collaboration to really support the families and students that live in the city limits relative to food. So we're pleased at Confluence to be a part of this effort. We serve a large number of students throughout the city, and we'll open 3 of our 5 sites to accommodate students and families beginning on Monday, March 23rd. So we're pleased to do that. We will offer breakfasts, we will offer lunches, and we will continue to feed and support our families through this challenging time. So we're thankful to the city. We're thankful for the collaboration. I think it's a cooperative effort that we're supportive of to ensure that families are taken care of and our kids are cared for. So thank you.
LaShonda Boone.
Good evening. We too are thankful to the mayor, Mr. Pinckney, St. Louis Public School, and all our K through 12 partners. We will begin our food service on tomorrow, March the 18th, from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m., and we will serve, of course, all our families. We are a small charter school in Midtown St. Louis, and we, of course, will serve all of our families and any persons that are desiring food ages 18 and under. We too jumped on board in the collaboration and just wanted to make sure that we were able to provide resources during this uncertain time to any of our families or anyone in our neighborhoods, because we recognize that in order to get through this, we have to work as partners and also provide that opportunity for our families to have food.
Thank you. I will say all the sites will be operating from 8 in the morning to 12 noon for any child under the age of 18 years old. They do not have to have a school ID. I'll introduce Kelly Garrett now.
Good evening. My name is Kelly Garrett. I'm the Executive Director of KIPP St. Louis, and we're pleased also to participate in this community-wide effort to ensure that all students, especially our most marginalized kids, receive nutritional breakfast and lunch and meals every day during this unprecedented departure from school. I wanted to thank the Mayor's Office, Mayor Krewson, and Will Pinckney for helping coordinate and create this collaborative effort. We're excited to be a participating district and know that all districts and schools are committed to serving meals to any student under the age of 19. So whether you are a KIPster or a student at another district, we'll be serving to any kid during those hours from 8 a.m. until noon. So thank you again, Mayor Krewson, and for the other districts behind me that are participating in this important community-wide effort.
And they will be serving a sack lunch, and in that sack will contain breakfast and lunch. By the way, this map, it is complete for now, but we are assessing, and we're going to continually assess to find out if there are any gaps that need to be filled. And all the schools you see on this board over here are willing, ready, and able to step in and either support the existing sites or to stand up new sites if necessary. Patrice?
Hi, happy to represent the Carondelet Leadership Academy. We are a site that will open tomorrow, as we've shared, 8 to noon. Carondelet is in the very, very far southeast sector of the city, so we anticipate having a lot of meals prepared for whomever arrives. And we're just, again, we're happy to be part of the collaboration and to do our part.
So once again, just to go over everything, this is a grab-and-go bag lunch containing breakfast, bag meal containing breakfast and lunch. It will be served between the hours of 8 a.m. and 12 noon at any of these 33 sites. You do not have to be a student of that site. You just have to go to the site. We hope that it is close enough to people so that they can just walk there and get food during that time. You do not need an ID, a student ID. You can just show up and be served. Children must be present to get the grab-and-go lunch. And so that'll be how it will operate. Like I said, we will continually assess it and make changes if we need to. This group behind me and the other schools that are participating, we will be talking weekly to not only talk about this, but talk about any other challenges that are taking place while the schools are closed. So I'll turn it over to the mayor if you have any final things, or we can take questions. Okay, we'll take questions.
Mr. Pinckney, 33 sites total. I think you said 2 open tomorrow.
3 starting tomorrow.
3 starting tomorrow?
Yes.
Big difference in 33. Geographically, is this north and then mid, and then I think you said down south? So why were just these 3 sites initially decided to open first?
3 of the largest school districts in the city were on spring break already this week, and so those kids, we believe that they had already anticipated being out of school and already made arrangements. And any other challenges that schools aren't often reimbursed for food if the children aren't in school at that time, aren't supposed to be in school at that time.
You've been focusing a lot on meals, but childcare also a huge issue for so many families. Is there anything that in conversations, this could be for the mayor or for yourself, when it comes to childcare for so many working families?
A decision has not been made on childcare, daycare centers, or early childcare centers. Right now, they are open. They are subject to the guidance from the CDC around 50 people, and that's where we are right now.
You mentioned 2 of the schools that will open up tomorrow. What's the third one? And then another question, I see 21 schools listed here. What are the additional schools that make up the 33 sites?
So some schools have multiple sites, for example, SLPS. Some of those schools, KIPP is listed on there once, but KIPP has multiple schools. So some of that is what you see. One additional site that's open tomorrow is not a school. It's the Jean Slay Boys and Girls Club. They are also collaborating with us, and they will be open those same hours, 8 to 12. And I'm sorry, did I answer the question? Okay.
Can you talk about how many ballpark number that you think kids are actually in need right now, or will be?
Well, all I know is the number of kids in the school system. I think it's around 45,000 kids. So everybody behind me and the people on the board are ready to feed the kids that show up and to address whatever need is there.
Like, is it over 20,000? How many kids are in the school program that require?
This isn't about school programming. This is about kids who live in the community. So once again, we're not asking for IDs. Any child 18 and under can show up at these sites and get food. So this is about feeding the children in the city. We're not focused, and everyone behind you will tell you, they're not focused on schools or the kids that go to their schools or any other schools.
Who will pay for the food?
I'm gonna let
School districts are reimbursed from the federal government, so it's like the summer feeding programs that take place in the summer. And there are other programs as well that are reimbursed by the federal government.
Because you're having to do this now, and you mentioned summer programs, I mean, is this going to hinder what you guys have to do during the summer? I mean, a lot of families rely on that as well.
No, it will not hinder what happens in the summer.
Mayor, I have a question for you regarding some other restrictions today when it comes to bars and restaurants. Why was the decision made for Thursday at midnight? Why not tonight? Why not now?
Because a lot of bars and restaurants just got a truckload of food, for example. And we felt like there needed to be a day or two to let these bars and restaurants deal with their staff, deal with their food situation. Many of them are in a very serious transition right now. You've seen some have already closed and already gone to carry out only. So it was just 2 days to sort of be able to implement this change.
Mayor, you had mentioned yesterday how this is a regional effort with all the communities. Any indication why Jefferson City didn't come on board with this today? Jefferson County, excuse me.
No, Jefferson County is thinking about doing their own thing right now. I'm optimistic that they probably will come on board. You know, this has been a fast and furious, changing, evolving situation. So, you know, we felt pretty good that we got 4 counties to come together today and do the same thing. And I think for the people who live in this region, we owe them some certainty, and we owe them some unity, because whether you live on this side of Skinker or the other side of Skinker isn't the point here. Our fragmented government makes this difficult, but we came together. We're standing with one decision, one voice, and we think that's for the good of the region.
Mayor, everywhere you look, places are closed, yet we had a crew at the wheel today, and not very crowded, but I mean, what mandate can you give, if any, I mean, to these places that, frankly, they're still open?
Well, right now, what we're operating under is for events, and this will, I anticipate that this will continue after Thursday. For events, 50 people or less in a single room. So that's, you know, the wheel, you're with 6 or 8 people in a car. They're doing cleaning and that sort of thing. The carry-out only, carry-out curbside window pickup only applies to bars and restaurants starting at midnight on Thursday. So a little different. You've got events, rules for events, which is 50 or less, and that is in compliance with the CDC guidelines. And then you have the bars and restaurants.
Last question, what are the penalties if somebody, bar, restaurant, is not compliant to this?
You know, it's really interesting. Every time I've talked with reporters about this, they're like, oh, what are you going to do? One, I have a lot of confidence in our restaurant and bar owners. Vast majority of them are going to follow the rules. They're watching the news too, and they know what the CDC is saying. In the event we have somebody who's not, we will send an inspector to visit them and get them into compliance.
Is it,
One last one?
yeah, thank you. Is it too early to say yet about long-term? Have the businesses talked with you about what's gonna happen? If they have to stay closed for, or restricted for a prolonged period of time, any help state-wise or city-wise?
We, state and federal, I'll be honest with you, we need direct federal help. Our businesses need it, our residents are going to need it. And you know there's some things going through Congress right now. I'm not going to predict what comes out of that. But I do think that there is a big movement to make sure that the federal government can shore up individuals and businesses. Now, that's not to say that there won't be a devastating impact on individuals and on businesses. And that is very heartbreaking. But with the pandemic and with the advice that we're getting from the three major hospitals, BJC, SSM, and Mercy Hospital, who were all standing with us this afternoon when we did the press conference to announce the Thursday night closing. They are very clear that this is something we need to do in order to stop the spread of coronavirus. You know, I'm going to see. I can't recall the exact number in the country right now, but I do know that it was 1,200 about 6 days ago. And yesterday it was 4,800. I don't have today's number, but you can see what's happened to the number of cases. Very rapidly evolving. So part of that may have to do with testing, and we still have issues with testing, although they're getting better. So that will have to continue to evolve.
And maps, everybody.
Yep. Thank you all for being here. And thanks to all of you guys for coming together. Dr. Eccles, I didn't even introduce you. I'm sorry.